Today we are going to cook a very delicious pie-old cheesecake brownie. It will consist of 2 layers, and if desired, you can decorate with berries on top. The recipe is inexpensive. Everything is prepared quickly and simply. It is desirable that cottage cheese, eggs, and apples were at room temperature. First, we will prepare the dough. It will be a kind of brownie, which I cooked with the addition of zucchini. I have slightly changed the proportions, and today I will use apples. First, you need to melt the chocolate and butter. I take chocolate with a cocoa content of 70%. You can do this in the microwave in pulses of 15 to 20 seconds and constantly mix, or gently in a saucepan over low heat. Chocolate must be stirred and not overheated so that it does not curdle. The mass should become simply homogeneous and liquid. And so far, we insert this mixture just to the side so that it cools down a little. For the dough, combine the eggs in a bowl. Add half a teaspoon of salt. Here I do not add a pinch, but a little more because it will taste better this way. Then add sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla sugar for flavor, and mix everything well with a whisk. There is no need to beat anything here, just mix well. You can always find the exact list of all products in the description under the video and at the end of the video. As soon as everything has become homogeneous, add vegetable oil. Mix everything again. You can replace vegetable oil with butter. Peel the apples and grate them. It is possible on a small one. It is possible on a large one. Usually a large amount of butter is added to brownies to make the structure more moist, but this role is perfectly performed by apples or some other neutral fruits or vegetables. Plus, it turns out to be cheaper and less caloric. You can also take zucchini, pears, or juicy carrots. Separately combine flour, cocoa powder, and baking powder. Sift and knead the dough in parts. It is not necessary to mix it in any case. As soon as everything has become homogeneous, we sift the next part. I have already turned on the oven to warm up to 180 degrees. By the way, it's zucchini season, and I highly recommend you to try brownies with its addition. It turns out very tasty. I'll leave a link under the video. At this stage, the dough should turn out to be of this consistency. Then add the mixture of chocolate and butter and mix everything well again until smooth. After making the chocolate, the mass will become a little thicker. While we set aside, for the second part, you will need cottage cheese. I take a fat content of 9%. Add egg, sugar to taste, vanilla sugar, and starch to it. Instead of starch, you can take flour or semolina, and now we carefully punch everything with a blender until it is homogeneous. If there is no blender, you can rub the cottage cheese through a sieve in advance or immediately by a pasty one in which there are no grains. Of course, it will taste better if the whole mass is homogeneous. Instead of cottage cheese, you can take cream cheese. It will also be very tasty. I have already prepared the form. It is 20 by 30 centimeters in size. You can also take, for example, a round one with a diameter of 26. Here, while the curd part was being made, the chocolate dough became even thicker. We shift most of it into a mold and distribute it evenly. If you want to be taller, then take a smaller form. Spread the curd part on top. You can leave it in this form and then fill the gaps with chocolate dough, or you can smooth out the curd mass and then put the remaining chocolate dough on top. And then we mix everything a little with a skewer or a spoon to get a pattern. Also, if desired, you can add berries. Cherries are very suitable here, but you can also take, for example, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, or currants. In principle, it will be delicious with any berries. My berries are frozen. There is no need to defrost them beforehand. By the way, if you have a sweet tooth, you can sprinkle sugar on top of the cherries. There is no need to roll the berries in flour, since they will be on top, and too much juice will not be allowed. Bake the pie in the oven, preheated to 170–180 degrees, approximately 35 minutes. All recipes on the channel are in up-down mode without convection. The pie is ready. Be sure to check in the center with a wooden stick. Pierce the dough and look. If the skewer is dry, then everything is ready. A small amount of crumbs is acceptable, since the dough structure turns out to be slightly moist. Now leave to cool completely. I think everyone understands perfectly that chocolate, cottage cheese, and cherries are just perfectly combined with each other. The chocolate base turns out to be very loose, soft, and slightly moist. Inside, there is a delicious layer of cottage cheese, which is very similar to cheesecake. And all this is complemented by a bright cherry. It is very moderate in sweetness, so add more sugar if desired. It's both simple and very tasty at the same time, and it is not difficult to prepare at all. I am sure that you will also like this recipe, so I will look forward to your feedback in the comments. I'm done for today. I wish you all a successful baking and bon appetit.